Good evening and welcome to this week's national news segment brought to you by L28 News. I'm your host, Jacobo Garrido, and tonight we dive into three major stories shaping our nation's future, from record-breaking moments in Congress to bold trade shifts poised to reshape our economy and powerful storms disrupting lives across the South. We break it all down right now. Let's dive into this week's episode. All that and more when we return. Stay with us. L28 National News starts now. We begin with a dramatic moment on Capitol Hill, where Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey has just etched his name into the congressional record books. Booker delivered a speech that lasted 30 hours and 24 minutes, now the longest continuous address in U.S. Senate history, surpassing even Strom Thurmond's legendary 1957 filibuster. Booker's remarks, described as part protest and part sermon, centered on voting rights, economic justice, and racial equity. He began his speech by saying, "This is not about obstruction, this is about obligation." In those 30 hours, he detailed the effects of voter suppression in Black and Latino communities, called for action on police reform, and defended recent climate legislation that has stalled in the committee. The speech was aimed at blocking what he called an anti-democratic voting bill disguised as reform, introduced by Senate Republicans, while some GOP lawmakers dismissed the marathon session as grandstanding. Whether or not the bill moves forward, Booker's speech is being studied in classrooms and covered extensively across national media. And in his closing words, he addressed young Americans watching at home: "Don't lose faith. Democracy is not dying. It's demanding your voice." Next, a major shakeup to U.S. trade policy that could redefine the global auto industry. President Donald Trump declared April 2nd, 2025 as Liberation Day, the day he says American industry was reborn. In a fiery address before a crowd of factory workers and economic nationalists, Trump announced sweeping 25% tariffs on all foreign manufactured automobiles, including electric vehicles. The tariffs apply to cars built outside U.S. borders, regardless of brand, putting pressure on global auto giants like Toyota, Hyundai, and Volkswagen, and adding tension to trade relations with China, Germany, South Korea, and Japan. Trump claims the policy will restore auto manufacturing jobs lost to globalization, saying, "We are done outsourcing our middle class. We're going to build the future transportation right here on American soil." But economic analysts say the move could trigger retaliatory tariffs, reduce international investment in U.S. factories, and cause price hikes for American consumers. Now let's head to the Boulevard to hear from local residents their thoughts on Liberation Day and the 25% auto tariffs.
For the Antelope Valley, we're a community that's known for kind of coming together in a place where people struggle and are trying to rebuild and learn to thrive. So I think it's pretty hard on the community here. For a lot of people come here to try to start fresh, to try to rebuild, because we have a little bit of a cheaper housing. And so for having these sales taxes be raised, it's really hard on the community.
I'm very excited about it, which is funny when I always give that feedback to my clients, because I own lots of real estate myself here in the Antelope Valley. I'm very bullish on the Antelope Valley, and it's a great place for businesses and those looking to relocate. Even with the higher sales tax, honestly, internally what my thoughts are is just going to bring more infrastructure, bring more value to our local market with higher sales tax on property.
With global markets already reacting and foreign governments preparing responses, Liberation Day may mark more than just a symbolic shift. It could launch a new chapter in the global trade war. We close tonight with a tragic and fast-developing weather emergency across large parts of southern and central United States, where 23 people have now died after a string of violent storms and flash floods ripped through towns and rural communities this week. The system spawned at least 30 confirmed tornadoes stretching from Texas to Tennessee and dropped up to 8 inches of rain in some areas in less than 24 hours. In Mississippi, rescue boats had been deployed to reach elderly residents stranded by rapidly rising water. In northern Alabama, authorities confirmed multiple fatalities after a tornado leveled an RV park just outside of Decatur. The National Weather Service issued more than 300 severe weather warnings in just 48 hours' time, with conditions expected to worsen again this weekend. Some towns are now entirely without power, and emergency shelters are filling up across Arkansas, Kentucky, and Missouri. Meteorologists attribute the increased intensity of these spring storms to climate change, citing warmer than usual temperatures in the Gulf and upper-level wind patterns that have turbocharged storm systems. Our hearts tonight are with the families who've lost loved ones and the thousands still navigating this disaster aftermath. That wraps up tonight's national news segment here on L28 News. From history in the halls of Congress to sweeping trade policies that could reshape our economy and devastating weather impacting our neighbors across the South, these stories remind us that our country is constantly shifting beneath our feet. I'm Jacobo Garrido, and on behalf of the entire L28 team, thank you for tuning in, stay safe, and good night. If you want to stay informed on the latest news impacting our country, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by scanning the QR code below.